All right, guys, we're getting ready to start lesson 2.5, and we're going to go over a couple of mathematical properties here beforehand that we're going to use to help us with a different way to look at multiplying fractions here in our second video we'll have in a little bit. So we're going to look at the commutative and associative properties, and we can use those with addition and multiplication, and we've talked about them in addition before, and multiplication as well. We're just going to review here. So let's talk about this one first here, the commutative property of multiplication. And if you look here at the example they give us, again, we've got a little algebra in here. They're saying A times B equals B times A. All they did was flip those around. And again, A and B could be any numbers we want to call them. When we deal with algebra, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But for now, let's just say A is 7. So I'm going to rewrite this out here. A times B equals B times A. And very simple property. Let's just do 7 times, and let's say B is 2. So A is 7, B is 2. So if I flip those, that just means that B, which was 2, comes first, and you're still taking it times 7. We know both of those equal 14. They're the same. So I can flip them. That works in addition, and it works in multiplication. And again, we're going to be using that property again today to help us with multiplying fractions a little bit. And we're going to show you that here in a bit. Okay. The other one that we want to talk about is the associative property of multiplication here. And in this case, it's got some parentheses in here. A times B, it wants us to do first, whatever's in parentheses we do first. Then we take that times C, and that equals the same thing as A times, and this time we're going to group B times C and multiply it first. We know when we multiply, we can multiply in any order. And when we move parentheses around, it just regroups it or reassociates it. And when we multiply, we get the same answers regardless of what order we multiply them in. So let's take a quick look with numbers in here. Okay, so let's just say again, let's keep A 7. And we're going to keep B 2 just like we did up above. So it'd be 7 times 2 first. And let's say C is 3. And we're going to rewrite that over here. Again, A is still 7 times B, which is 2, times C, which is 3. So we're just kind of moving the parentheses. Instead of doing this first, we're going to move it around the second numbers. And if I solve this following my PEMDAS, I knew I'd do parentheses first. So this would be 6 times 7 on this side. And on this side, 7 times 2 is 14. And that's going to be left with times 3. And those still equal each other. And I know 7 times 6 is 42. And if I do 14 times 3, I'll also get 42. So again, that's proven that I can do it in any order, and we get the same answer no matter how I multiply these. Okay, so that's that associative property and the commutative property, and we'll be using that here in a bit, and those properties to help us solve some multiplication of fraction problems.